Esteemed members of the board, dear colleagues and students, as another year draws to a close, it is my duty and pleasure as headmaster of this school to follow a tradition that can be traced back to its very founding. To look back into what we leave behind and to look forward onto what awaits us. Usually, this is a time for somber reflection and for thankful remembrance. Usually, because this year's speech will be different. The passing year saw turmoil and struggle, both within and without the walls of this academy. It saw violence, bloodshed, and death. It saw an erosion of trust in core values of our society, and it saw the rise of radicalism on both sides of the aisle. To say we experienced troubled times during the last month fails utterly short to do justice to those we have lost. But the year also saw friendship, loyalty, and love. It saw enemies becoming allies, and it saw people setting aside grievances and mistrust in order to strive towards the common good. It saw again and again and again hope. Hope bought with blood and with sweat, but hope nevertheless. We as a country, as a people, have always been shaped and guided by our traditions. Some of them, I dare say even most of them, are important and full of meaning. Others are less so. Despite what some of you might think of me and of this school, we do not blindly hold to what has been handed down to us through the ages just because of tradition. The ability to question, to change, and to adapt is important for a society that strives to provide freedom, equality, and fairness for all of its citizens. And it would be both vain and ill-advised to ignore that very creed of modern civilization. But there is another side to this coin. Traditions are also the bedrock of our society, and they are one of the cornerstones of the values and principles that are crucial to its very survival. We, as keepers, as guardians, have a duty to safeguard those values and principles. Above all else, it is our obligation to provide stability. We do not make policy. We do not judge policy. We simply enforce policy. We are, by our very own choice, the sword, the shield, and the watchful eye of those entrusted by the public to lead us and to guide us. Our leaders are chosen in a process that allows anybody to be heard, that requires every cast vote to be counted. Once that vote is cast, the decisions made subsequently are neither to be questioned nor doubted by a member of the CIS. Let me be perfectly clear. No, this does not mean that decisions of the political class are beyond reproach. And it does certainly not mean that injustice should be tolerated. But it is not ours to do so. You have all heard it before, as I make a point of repeating it on the first day of each new school year. But let me say it again. You are all here of your own volition. This is a calling, not a job. To be one of us is to stand apart. It is to value integrity, loyalty, and the willingness to put yourself in harm's way higher than your own personal sense of right or wrong. If you want to push for the laws surrounding canonical use of magic to be revised, changed, or even abolished, you can do so. If you want to protest against recent decisions of the ministry when it comes to certain families and organizations, if you want to organize, publish, or even join or form a political party or statement, you can do so. If you want to question the very nature of the CIS, its leadership, and its purpose in our society, you can do so. But you will have to make a choice. For if you choose to do any of those things, you cannot be a keeper at the same time. we stand apart. We must. For if we do not, we risk to become exactly what we guard against. Wizards and witches with a personal agenda and the desire and the ability to enforce that agenda against the will of the public. Each and every one of the students in this school is here because myself, the teaching staff, and the board saw promise and potential in each and every one of you. We will need you in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. Troubled times are most certainly coming. But we also need you to want to be here. And that includes, above all, adherence to and acceptance of the tenets I just spoke about. Yes, there is always hope, but we must ever strive for it. And it does not and will never come without a cost. To a better future, to a better year. I wish you all a happy new year.